Having started my small business in the last recession, I know how frightening it can be to be either beginning a business or running a business in the current climate of this credit crunch. But there are some things you can do. You're not alone, and there is a lot of good advice to be had out there. This is Jane Asher Party Cakes, which is my business I began in 1989 after having written a rather successful book about my hobby of cake decorating. And we make commissioned very beautiful, highly detailed, labour-intensive cakes, and we also have a second range of mail order cakes which helps to sort of underwrite that, what I call the couture side, which is very hard to make money on. And then now we have a third area, which is sugarcraft equipment and supplies, everything people need to make these kind of cakes at home. When I first started the business, a lot of people tried to warn me off, and of course, like anyone with a vision, I paid absolutely no attention at all and thought, oh, it'll be all right for me. For people starting now or thinking of starting now who may well be feeling very nervous in this current financial climate, understandably, I would say don't give up on your dream, but get some very good advice. Plan very carefully. Here are my 5 top tips based on my own experience of just what you can do to prepare yourself for what could be a difficult future. First, plan ahead. This is something I didn't do nearly enough of. You should plan for the mid-term, the short-term and the long-term. And also don't assume things are going to stay as they are. They could get better or they could get worse. And if you have plans in place for either contingency, then you're going to be in a much better position to go on successfully. Secondly, and this is a really good tip that didn't apply to me all those years ago, but now would be a very, very good thing to do. Don't use just one bank. Use several banks. Have your current account, your loans, your overdrafts in different banks, so that if one bank stops lending or one bank's interest rate drops, another one perhaps goes up, you can juggle between them and get the best possible deal. Thirdly, what may seem an obvious one, but we don't do nearly enough, is to check your costs. It's only too easy for costs to creep into your budget that you're not really keeping an eye on. It's really worthwhile going through regularly what you're spending, why you're spending it, and whether you really need to spend it. Fourthly, and this is something that I did do myself after bitter experience and wish I'd thought of it earlier, be ready to diversify. Don't assume that the core business you opened up is the only one you're going to be running, because you may need to step sideways depending what happens in the market out there. I found my initial core business of very expensive commissioned cakes wasn't going to keep me going, so I diversified first into a tea room, later on into selling sugarcraft equipment and supplies, and that has managed to keep me going. Fifthly, and perhaps most importantly of all, get some good advice, ideally before you start. You'll need a good accountant, a solicitor, ideally a financial advisor, but if in any doubt at all, go to an organisation like the Federation of Small Businesses. They are a mine of important and useful information, and do at least make you feel you're not alone. You're supported by somebody who understands what running a small business can be like. I think, if I look back now, I should have gone some earlier. I should have taken advice much earlier on, and I wouldn't have had a lot of the problems I did have. Go to fsb.org.uk and you'll find there everything you need to get you the advice that you need to make your small business successful, even in this rather frightening time.